everyone to another episode of Fly Fishing and Flares.
Yeah!
I'm Fernanda and I am thrilled to be joined by my co-host Diego. Together, we will guide you through the world of fly fishing, where every cast can lead to a new adventure.
Absolutely, Fernanda. Today's episode, Wade with Us. It's all about the art of wading. Physical and stepping into the water as you fish. It's a topic that often overlooked, but as any experienced angler will tell you, wading is a skill that can make or break your day on the river.
We are excited to have two passionate fly fishers today with us to share their expertise. First, we have Pablo, an experienced trout angler who's fished in some of the most challenging rivers around the world. Welcome, Pablo.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to dive into today's topic. Wading is such a crucial part of fly fishing, and it's not always talked about enough.
And with us as well is Natalia, who is traveling the world, chasing salmon and mastering different fishing environments. Welcome, Natalia!
Thank you, Diego. It's great to be here. There's nothing quite like standing knee-deep in a river, feeling the pull of the current of your cast your life, and looking forward sharing some of my experiences today.
For those of you tuning in, this podcast is designed to fly fishing enthusiasts of all levels, whether you are just getting started or you have been fishing for years. We hope to provide tips, stories, and inspiration that resonate with your passion for the sport.
And to kick things off, today's topic is especially relevant for those who love being out in the nature and I want to elevate their fly fishing game. So, without further ado, let's get into the Wade with Us. Alright, let's talk about the fundamentals of wading. Pablo, I know you waded through all kinds of rivers, from calm streams to fast-moving currents. What advice would you give to someone stepping into the water for the first time, like me?
That's a great starting point, Diego. One of the first things you learn is that wading is not just about walking through water. It's about reading the river. Before I even step in, I have to take a good look at the flow, the depth, and where the fish might be holding. Rushing into this assessment is a quick way to either scare off the fish or get into a dangerous situation.
That is interesting. So, it is not just physical skill, it's also about strategy. Natalia, I imagine this must be even more important when you're fishing in unfamiliar environments. So, how do you approach wading when you're in a new location?
You are absolutely right, Fernanda. When you are fishing a new place, the first thing I do take to understand the terrier. It's crucial to be aware of who the behaviors, especially when you catching salmon in the remote area like Alaska or Northwest. This is right unpredictable with strong current and hidden obstacles. I found that async and within staff can make hard difference. It's help your gut the deep in fin stability, especially if the water is murky or the current is swift.
That's a great tip, Natalia. And Pablo, you mentioned reading the water. Can you tell us more about that? What should anglers be looking for?
Reading the water is essential. You want to look for seams, which are areas where faster and slower currents meet. Fish tend to hold in these spots because they can conserve energy while waiting for food to drift by. Also, keep an eye out for structure, rocks, logs, or submerged trees, because these create hiding spots for the fish. As an angler, you want to move slowly and stay low to avoid disturbing the water too much.
So it is almost like a dance. You are moving in sync with the river. Natalia, have you ever had a wading experience where you felt like the river has winning?
Oh, definitely. One time I'm in Iceland. They underestimated the strength of the current while fishing for Atlantic salmon.
Wow.
I took a spit and the water, it was deeper than a throw. The current nearly knocked my over. My water filling with water. Luckily, I had my wading belt on, which stopped in a front getting worse. The experience though my to always respect the power of the river, no matter who can its looks.
Fly with me, let's fly away. There is a great segue into our next phase, Sinatra's knowledge. Fly fishing has a certain grace to it, like a well-performing Sinatra tune. Natalia, let's talk about technique. When you're wading in a fast-moving river, how do you maintain your balance and still focus on your cast?
It's all about staying grounded, but physical or mentally, and always as a wide stand when in the water. You want to make sure your feet are planted firmly and the water is moving fast. Takes a smaller, the tail smaller, liberate step. As for casting and through the keep, it's simple. In faster water short, the short cast were best because it's give for better control. Focus on your wrist movement. Too much force will run to a race.
And Pablo, I know you are meticulous about your techniques, so what is your process when you are wading and casting for trout? Wait, do you adjust your casting style based on the water condition?
Definitely. In slow-moving water, you can afford longer casts, but in faster currents, you need to be more precise. I often switch to a roll cast in tight spaces or when there are a lot of trees around. The key is to adapt to your environment. You don't want to fight against the river, so you want to work with it. And like Natalia said, stay relaxed. The moment you tense up, your cast suffers.
I heard that fly fishing can be a bit like jazz, their structure, but you have to improvise with it hint. How do you both balance the technical side with the creative when you are out on the water?
Great analogy. The technique aspect. Know who to cast, who to read the water is your foundation, but the commit to greater part. Each river is different, and the fear haven differently depending on the condition. You are have the to reflexive and the throw the instinctive. Sometimes the best thing you are can do is just pause. Take in your surrounding and adapt it to what's happening in the moment.
I agree. Fly fishing isn't just about following a set of rules. It's about observing, adjusting, and experimenting. Some days the fish aren't responding to your usual patterns, so you try something new. A different fly, a different approach. It's a constant learning process, and that's what makes it so rewarding.
Now, let's get into the thrilling part, landing the fish. Pablo, we have heard you talk about how trout fishing is often about patience. But what happens when you finally hook that elusive trout? Wait, can you share a memorable story?
The moment you hook a fish, it's electrifying. One of my favorite experiences was on a quiet afternoon in Montana. I had been casting for hours without much luck, and then suddenly my line tightened. It was a big brown trout, and I could feel its strength immediately. The fish jumped 3 times, and each leap felt like it was in slow motion. Yes,
Wow.
After what felt like an eternity, I finally managed to land it. There's nothing quite like that feeling. It's a mix of relief, excitement, and pure joy.
That sounds incredible! And Natalia, you finished our form of most powerful fish out there, salmon. How does it compare?
Oh, salmon are another level. I never forget the first time I hooked an Atlantic salmon in Scotland. I was alone exiting fierce. Salmon are relentless. They don't give up easily. After nearly 14 minutes, I was finally able to reel in it. The power of that fearless me in a way. It's moment like that when you are wrestling with people become so passionate about this sport.
It is interesting how each fish species brings its own unique challenge. Pablo, any advice for those trying to land their first trout? What is the trick to keeping them on the line?
Patience is key. The first thing you want to do is avoid rushing. When you feel the tug, don't yank the rod. Let the fish run for a bit. Keep tension on the line, but don't overdo it. If the fish jumps, lower your rod to tip slightly to keep the hook safe. And always stay calm. Panic is the enemy when you're trying to land a fish.
Yes.
That's a solid advice. And Natalia, any final thoughts on battling a big salmon?
Be prepared for a long fierce. Salmon are incredibly strong and they test your endurance. Make sure your gears in the top strap, especially your reel and drag system, and don't be afraid to let the fish run when it's need to. The key is to stay patient and enjoy the ride.
Well, it is clear that fly fishing is about much more than catching fish. It is about the entire experience. From stepping into the river to biting a big trout or salmon, every moment is part of the adventure.
Pablo and Natalia, thank you for sharing your insight and stories with us today. It's been a fantastic conversation.
Yes. Thank you for having me. It was a great to relive some of the moments and share what I've learned.
Yes, it's been a real pleasure. Fly fishing has given so much, and I hope our listeners are inspired to get out there and try it themselves.
And for those of your listening, remember that fly fishing is a journey. Whether you are just starting out or you have been doing it for years, there is always something new to learn.
Before we wrap out, we want to give you a sneak peek at our next episode. That's Life, where we'll explore the fly fishing cultures around the world. You won't want to miss it.
So stay tuned, and until then, line everyone.
That's life, that's the all the people say.